Yeah, so what I do is I don't have any audio from the studio.
Oh, okay.
I broadcast it from the studio. So I remote into there and set everything up, broadcast it.
I
But I
see.
join from home because I don't have any audio that I can hear. So
Okay.
this way I know I'm getting audio out to people. I also go onto YouTube and open that up to listen to make sure getting all the way through.
Right.
So yeah, I actually gotta do that right now. Yeah, it's a process.
It sounds that way.
I think I'm good though.
At some point, we probably ought to talk about whether this franchise agreement.
Nope, sorry. Can you hear me?
I can.
Yeah, I just had a double thing because I was listening to the YouTube, make sure there was sound.
Okay. Yeah. So at some point, I think we ought to chat to see what our best next steps are with regard to this franchise agreement and whether there's any improvements that you need the broadcast capability at all. I mean, I think the question that came up on Saturday in our budget meeting was whether how many people might be using that broadcast TV beside Lee.
Right. And we can go to his house and teach him how to do YouTube, right?
I think we could.
Because honestly, I have no idea what the user, I mean, it's channel 7, everyone's watching news or something else better, I think personally.
Mhm.
So I don't know. It'd be interesting to know.
Well, I think we're going to start moving forward on this franchise agreement again because the bill that was in the legislature apparently passed LD 1967, I think, and it has some advantages for the town. Hello.
Woohoo, we found you.
All right.
Didn't even know we were lost.
There.
Marcus, too.
Ann is away, that's why, sorry.
That's all right. We're good.
Okay.
Are we going to have the owl in your video or?
Owl is going right now.
Yep. I don't know how to record here. What do I have to do to record?
As far as recording, I can do that, but I'm not seeing your video.
Yeah, it's
Oh, I
not
see it
looking
in
like the
here.
owl's on, it's not lit.
It went.
Recording in progress.
That must be what you have to do. You must have to record.
Maybe, but now I can't see
that's
anybody.
Learning curve, learning curve.
Just lost you.
Yep,
There
there
you
we go. We just lost you, but good timing because it's on my watch 7:02.
Okay, we're off. The off-road contract for plowing has gone out for bids, and the bids will be due next meeting on March 11th. We've had a few people pick up the contract to look at.
Have we had any looking at the mowing contract or inquiring about that?
It's coming up right now.
Okay, sorry.
That went out for bid. Ooh, I guess that's due.
March 25th.
Yeah, March 22nd, is it?
Actually, it says 25th.
March
on
20. So that one is due then, and we've had several people contact me, sent out copies of those contracts. And everybody seems to be local, so that's been good. The FEMA December storm, I've started that work on that one. One thing I'm going to add to it is the community center roof because of the damage that was done to that one. So I'll add that to it. But I'm still working with Lee Lee hasn't given me the breakdown on their equipment. And I need that in order to continue. The other thing which we have to do is accept Charlie Meter's, I guess, retirement. I don't know.
What's that noise?
Charlie Meter,
No, it sounds like fax.
like what?
Oh,
Faxes.
the copier's going, I'm
Oh,
printing
okay.
something.
Oh, there you go.
So I move that we accept Charlie Meter's retirement.
Can we refuse to?
I don't.
I second the motion.
And vote. Yep, 2-0. And very sorry to see him go.
Absolutely.
But yeah, bids went out to replace him, which will be hard to do. It's gonna be more expensive, I would say. And I just mentioned the community center roof.
They were working on that today.
They were.
Yeah. Guy was there
Glad I
all
got
day
that
long.
signed.
Yeah, it was a good thing.
He was all day there, and he had a big old ladder up, and he was securing the bottom edge and stuff, so.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That's good. Locks Corner, we have not heard anything. The grant went to DOT. In years past, it was DEP that used to do those grants. So this is the first year DOT is doing it, and we figure it's just taking a little bit longer for them to do it. We're keeping our fingers crossed. That's $200,000 if we get it.
Bob, did they give you like any type of time frame when
No.
you may be hearing back?
No,
No,
it's been about a little over a month. So we're just,
I'm sure they're inundated.
I would imagine a lot of towns applied for that grant. Yes, it's a pretty popular one. You find policy. I just had, hold on. We already did the financial policy. I just keep bringing that one up. Next time we'll do the personnel policy. Okay, Kyle?
Right.
Okay. CEO has made a comment on the land use ordinance. And he sent, Kyle, did you get copies of the letter that
Yes, I
Bill
did.
sent to us? I sent those comments to the to Sue and Heather on the ordinance review committee. And I haven't heard back from them, but they didn't think that was a big problem, those comments. The comments from Bill came about because Bill has been complaining about the ordinance being unenforceable or having problems with it. And I asked him to come up with some for instances. And so he came up with that letter. And so the committee is going to look at that, but they haven't come back with an answer yet. So we're kind of waiting for that. But my first indication that they gave me anyway was it was not really bad. Minor things. So we'll see what happens after they have that meeting.
What was he particularly commenting about in terms of enforcement?
Specifically, the letter addressed table 4.1 and 4.2. There's two tables, and they both direct people that are trying to do work. And it shows in this table whether you have to go to the planning board or you have to go to the code enforcement officer for the particular items that you say you want to put in a dock.
Yeah.
Who do you go see?
Yeah.
That's what those tables
Hmm.
tell you to do. So
Is it town though? I always had to go get permit if anything new was being installed in Belgrade. you could take the old stuff and rehab it, but if you were to yank it out and put new stuff in. you'd have
Oh,
to
I was
go
just giving
permit by
an
rule.
for
Yeah,
instance
yeah,
on that one.
yeah.
But, yeah, say you're building, a new structure or something.
Mm,
You would go to those tables and it would tell you who to go to.
ah, okay,
So,
and he found them confusing?
Yeah.
Or- Okay,
yeah, and so we're just trying to figure out why he thinks they're confusing.
yeah, there you go.
And the ordinance review committee is the best place
Hmm.
for those answers to come out of, we
Mhm.
figure. Kyle, anything else you've come out for
No.
you?
No, I think those are the key.
There's a unenforceable term that keeps coming up. And I talked with Sue Herman about that, and I gave a couple of answers that the town has gone to court with a few residents, and we won those cases. So I feel fairly confident that our ordinances are enforceable because we did win on those cases. And we've also had cases where, say, the court enforcement officer required someone to do something, specifically a commercial venture in a rural area requires a little bit more stringent, because you have to actually be living on that lot that you're doing the commercial work.
I have to give him a variance.
Yeah, Bill issued a notice of violation for a specific case right now that he's dealing with, where a person moved a house trailer onto a lot, and he's not living there. And the house trailer is what he is calling, he's gonna refurbish it, and then he says he's gonna give it to somebody, and all they have to do is pay for the work that he did to it. That comes under the category of being commercial.
Hmm.
Hmm.
It's fairly clear, he's doing a commercial job. Why he has to do a site plan review for that is because, first of all, you wanna know what happens to that stuff that comes out of that trailer. And then he put something else in there, but what's happening to that stuff that's coming out of the trailer?
Yeah, waste
If it's
management.
staying right on that lot, then he's causing a junkyard.
Yeah.
So he really should go, it's not that hard to go through a site plan review. I don't understand why people think it's so hard to do it. It's a few months, 2 or 3 meetings, and you get through it.
Well, that's the problem. It's 2 to 3 months.
Yeah,
Yeah,
By that, half your summer's gone and you
Right.
can't do anything because
right.
we had a Zoom meeting. We didn't get hardly anything accomplished. The last actual meeting we had was November 19th.
Right, and you just have to plan ahead, if you're gonna do something, you can't say, tomorrow I'm gonna start doing this business. Too bad.
Hmm.
Anyway, this is a case where he's working, and we'll see whether it's enforceable or not, I guess.
Well, it sounds to me like you've set some precedents already.
Yeah,
as a
that's
town,
right,
so-
that's what I keep falling back on.
Yep.
We'll see what happens anyway. I'm trying to draft ordinance. I just had a quick couple. Carrie? Yeah,
Actually, I'm going through, they sent me some questions they had in there too, so. I have a call in to get the overlap debt from the RSU.
they called us a select board manager form of government.
Mhm.
We should be a select board town meeting form.
Well, it's because of Tina.
It's on page 19.
Tina's an admin, so
No,
she's.
we're not a manager.
Well, that's
This
true.
is for the
Yeah.
audit.
It should,
Yeah.
right, it should just be a select board.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah, that's on page 19.
I didn't catch that, thank you.
And who's the buyer? On 49, it shows balance sheet of non-major special revenue funds. It has alive and well, garden, and playground.
Well, those are all still funds that have been there for years.
Can't we zero them out?
Actually, if they were funds, special towns, and I will double check this with them, but because you were talking about doing that to one of the other funds too, was it the compactor or something? But the thing is that if it's voted as special as funds in the town meeting, you have to go through the town meeting to liquidate those funds into the general fund or whatever and reallocate them.
There's not a lot of mine, but why
No.
not wipe them out?
Yeah, there were a couple little ones in there, the garden
Garden,
committee and,
yeah, and
Some
even the
different
beach committee.
well, beach
Okay,
committee
why don't we
is,
look at them?
we still need the beach committee because that still pays for the porta potty and the,
Oh, okay.
I have the ones circled that we talked about in the, as, after this is finalized, then I was going to suggest we put those on the warrant.
Yep, good.
To liquidate.
The town has steadily maintained unassigned balance, fund balance, basically surplus, for a period of approximately 7 months. Isn't that a lot?
Yeah, but if you look further, they had some more questions. They don't have all of the special revenue balances. And they've asked me to go over those again.
What I'm getting at is,
Page
is there any
36,
way we
37.
can rob from that a little bit? Think about it.
Unassigned, that's your surplus, so you can
Yeah.
use more of it when you do your commitment.
It might be
when you
nice
set
to
the
think
tax
about.
rate. There's limits on how much you can use.
Right, but let's think about it this year.
Yeah, because you should, technically, you should have 6 months worth.
6 months, it's saying 7 right there.
Yeah, so we're not that far.
I know, look at it.
So, yeah.
I'm just trying to pull any money we can, because
we keep
we're going out for
adding.
bids for Charlie's job, we're going out for bids for the off-road. Now I'm gonna tell you another one. Lee wants not to go out for the 4th year, so we've gotta go out for bids for snow plowing.
His sons aren't gonna pick up the slack there?
But
His sons?
it doesn't mean that he won't take the
He's gonna-
contract,
he
it
will
means he
bid
wants
on
to
it, but-
rebid it. Because if he took the contract as it is now, he can
He would be
renew for
stuck.
another year, but he's stuck with the
Yeah.
prices.
Same cost.
It's only $11,000 increase if you took the
Gotcha.
4th year.
Yeah.
Why would he wanna do that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, not the way things have gone.
Right.
Do we have any inkling on what the RSU is considering? I mean, they're not anywhere near done, but I haven't heard.
County tax, we don't know. We already know one of the dispatches is double,
Andrew Scoggin.
so we're gonna have to do some,
Digging.
yeah.
I have always been against using a lot of the surplus, but as soon as I get that will go down some, what they say is uncommitted, because they don't have all of the carried. I have to go over every time what we say, like the fire department, what's unused goes into the capital fund, but then it's restricted by they can't just spend it, it has to go through the select board
Right,
meeting to
right.
spend it. And so they haven't picked up some of those, so that will take out of the uncommitted.
There's another thing I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna look at the fees for all the planning board, all of that stuff. We should be trying to get, bills what we pay Bill covered more,
Mhm.
you know?
Right now, most of the, well, the planning board, because planning board takes up fees for postage and what they collect in tries to cover some legal filings. So we do take that money against the planning board.
Mhm.
But for all the permitting, we just list that as income coming into the town. We don't put it against the code enforcement officer.
Right,
So really, we should allocate it, looking at that.
absolutely, because, you know, these fees that I see here are just not high enough.
Mhm.
You know, we charge $50 for a junkyard.
Hmm.
Costs that much just to drive there.
Have we looked at what the fees are from other towns similar to our size?
Yeah. Yeah, we're not, we're way lower.
Well, we ought to bring it up this summer.
Hmm.
Yeah. And even the fees for the transfer station, you know, if someone brings in a mattress, they might complain about it, but I'm not bringing in the mattress, they are.
Hmm.
So they really should pay for what they're bringing in.
Who sets these fees, the ordinance review committee or the select board?
Select board.
Just checking.
So, yeah, we need to look at those types of things, make them in line with what they're,
One of the things I'm trying to keep an eye on right now, it was just in the KJ this morning, but I've been following it. The governor has submitted a bill that would make all nonprofits tax exempt, which trickle down theory. Now, right now, you can be nonprofit, but that's income tax exempt. But you still have to pay sales tax for what you use in your business, like the music camp. The exemptions are hospitals, schools, and churches. Don't have to pay sales tax. This bill would make any 501c3 sales tax exempt.
wow,
So
the hockey team.
the hockey team, the fire department, the fire company, all of those are would be sales tax exempt if this passes. Trickle down that is the funding for the municipal revenue sharing, so it could really impact us. Right now, they're saying it would cause a $10 million loss in state revenue, which means mostly from revenue sharing.
Yikes.
So that's
What's the positive? What's the upside that they're selling on that idea?
because we're one of the few states that don't exempt sales tax.
So where are they gonna make it up? They gotta make it up, right?
They would not be giving, municipal revenue sharing comes back to the town and it's funded by the sales tax. So that deficit pretty much directly impacts what the towns get from municipal revenue sharing. So on the other hand, all the payoff of the municipal revenue sharing is the things that the state imposes on towns, like the education standards and requirements, just all kinds of requirements. And so at least the state gives back, but most of that comes from municipal revenue sharing. So that's going to be
Wow,
a potentially big impact that we don't know about.
wow.
So I'm trying to follow that.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
On the transfer station, a report is due to the DEP on April 30th. I don't think the town has done one since the year 2000, period, 2000. I went through the files on the transfer station in like 2005, 6, and 7. The town got fined for not doing it was like $500 or
I'm
something like
quite
that.
sure Carol,
Yeah, I didn't find any of them.
I don't know that she turned them in here. I think she may have,
Just done them and gave them in.
yeah, I would ask Paul Crockett on that.
I was gonna say, let me call. Are you Let me call him. I'll call him and ask the question.
Okay,
I'd rather call and have, and then ask somebody else. I'd rather just call and get it right.
Okay, if you can get one,
Oh, I'll find
get one,
somebody.
because I'm digging, I'm trying to do it myself, so
Alright.
it's a lot of work.
All right.
That's why I'm trying to get tonnage on all that stuff.
Yeah, we should have gotten that already
No, they don't send it.
from Waste
Unless you ask
Management.
it.
No,
Yeah.
we should have gotten it already from,
Waste management,
yeah, they should have sent us what the tonnages that they send up to wherever and
yeah, they might send it to Kenny, but they don't send it here.
it needs to come here. I need that information.
But I also need it for, the tonnage on the
Yeah,
chipping,
we need that, yeah.
tires, the clothing.
All that stuff should come
I need
here.
tonnage of all the stuff that went through the swap shed. I need
Really?
all that stuff,
why the swap shed? That has nothing to do with.
because
waste.
that's all recycled. Everything that comes into the transfer station and then leaves the transfer station needs to be on that deal.
We could just
DEP.
as soon put a swap shop here in the parking lot. That's weird.
We have to take advantage of all that stuff.
And how can you quantify the product that goes through it?
Some of it, you can do it through the company. Like, there's a company that picks up the clothing.
Yeah,
I'll call them. They'll give us the information.
But that doesn't count the clothing that I
In the
take
swap
from
shed,
barn.
yeah, that will just have to give us some sort of a number we'll have to come up with.
I take
Mhm.
all my barn clothing.
The tires, they'll tell us how many
Yeah,
tires we
yeah,
sent.
yeah.
And then there's a figure, we didn't write it down here. But Kenny over in Belgrade
Yeah.
gave me a figure.
Yeah.
How many tires make a ton? So I'll have that
Yeah.
figure. And the chipping, I'll get that. But yeah, it's a lot of work.
yeah. How does Belgrade actually profit from having their punch card system for the transfer station?
They make, well, they're not making as much money as they used to, because there's not money in recycling
Yeah,
anymore.
there's not everywhere.
Yeah, they make it in cardboard.
Yeah.
That's because they,
But I mean, they have a little punch card system where,
yeah, I'm
you know,
not
you're
sure.
allowed a certain number of tires or TVs or beds/mattresses, and it's a little plastic punch card.
Yeah.
Once you exceed that, then
Yeah.
you're in the pay-as-you-go sort of thing.
Hmm.
I
Well,
wondered
we-
how that was profitable for
We
them.
pay as you go, period.
Yeah,
So if you bring a TV, you
Yeah,
pay.
yeah.
So I think it's easier that way than to,
well, that's why I wondered
Yeah.
about that. Yeah, I'll have to ask Ken. I go over there on Wednesdays and,
Didn't we used to charge $1 every time you came to register your car? You got it charged $1 to get that transfer sticket. Cardboard. That
yeah.
was years ago,
Yeah.
like right when I first moved back here.
And then they started doing it for free.
Yeah, why don't we?
yeah.
I don't mind paying $1. I don't
No.
even, shoot, I always, they tell me it's $10 to drop something off. I give them 20.
yeah, well, I just did that. I did that the other day, Sunday, I think it was, yeah.
I know she's
Yeah,
like, oh,
she's
it's
just
$10,
going,
and I'm like,
really? Are you sure? Okay.
I know that's what I do.
well, that brings up another matter. I would like to start a transfer station committee. And Kenny was glad to do.
Hmm.
Ken works at the
Mhm. I know who he
transfer
is,
station
yeah.
over there, but he lives in Mount Vernon. And he worked at the transfer station here, and he would like to get it going too.
Hmm.
So, if, Kyle, if you would put that on the, website, that we're setting up a transfer station committee. And the goal is for that committee to try to come up with savings at the transfer station. Now, for
Okay.
instance, glass. What they do in Belgrade is they receive the glass, they crush it, and then they bury it on site.
Oh my goodness, I didn't realize
And
that.
that's legal.
Yeah, because it just,
Wow. DEP will allow
yeah,
that.
it just works its way back down to
So-
sand.
They bury bricks,
Yeah,
cinder
I knew
blocks,
that.
porcelain,
Yep.
and glass.
I'll be darned.
And by doing that, we could save thousands.
I didn't know that.
Hmm.
Yeah. So that's the type of things that the committee can come up with.
Well, what happens with porcelain and brick and that sort of thing right now? I don't have any, so I haven't entered that
I
realm.
would say, just from my personal, a lot of people just put it in with the rest of the demos.
You have to watch out. Yeah,
Okay, which would be bulky waste or something, or?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just did 2 truckloads of brick. Remember, I just dumped it, and then I think it was Kenny who decided, hey, I'll take those bricks. I don't care if they're broken or not. So the next load, I gave them all to him, but no,
Oh,
I had them on my property for
But if
12
we
years.
Dug an area out
Yeah.
and dumped them in that area. it'd
well,
be
it
fine.
becomes landfill, sort of.
It is
but
landfill.
landfill with non-organic materials.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
well, that makes
I think the
sense.
committee would come up with stuff like that that would help.
I haven't done the newsletter yet because of people kept sending me stuff today.
You got my
Yesterday was
thing,
the
right?
cutoff. Yeah,
Good.
yesterday. So it'll be a couple more days because they gave me quite a bit of stuff to add into it. So I will actually add to the newsletter. So if anybody has anything to add, now is the time.
Don't push it.
That's
Um,
I
interesting.
think they caught me because they thought the 25th was a Sunday, so they're like, "Oh, we'll sneak it in."
Now, when they were saying they need cement pads, DEP is saying that they want cement pads.
Or
for
pavement.
Brush.
Yeah.
For, is that hillside behind all that brush? Can you possibly build bays into that hillside?
Yeah.
Cause that would just make containment and movement and processing so much
That's what they
easier.
would like for where the tires are.
Yeah,
And you can buy those rectangle 4x4 by,
Oh, yeah, they're 25
Six.
bucks a piece from Auburn Concrete.
yeah, they're very cheap.
yeah, okay. And you
That's
just
what we
build a
use on the
retaining
Black
wall
Hill
with
Road.
it.
Yeah.
You just build up a retaining wall.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's what they would like.
Now Belgrade uses a box truck trailer truck to put their tires in. You know? And they process them out every now and then. They'll take out so many and, you know, do what they do, but they used to have them just piled up.
Yeah,
And then I noticed that they put in a tractor trailer box, and that's what they're using for tires at this point.
maybe the outfit gave them the trailer and
Really?
they just haul them off.
Yeah, I don't know. But I
thought
mean, I
they can.
noticed that happened, and that worked out pretty well for them.
When I lived in Illinois, Elgin, our recycle center, they actually would shred the tires down and they would offer you to paint them in a non-toxic color for your garden as mulch.
Oh, geez.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, well, they use them in schoolyards and
Yeah,
things now
yeah.
too, so it's all got a,
It's
got a way to
it's
go.
all- yeah,
it's
all
no longer
relevant.
just buried.
You couldn't even tell, she's giving me, you couldn't even tell that it was tires.
Yep.
I
The
know,
way
but
that-
there's
Yeah.
Wire.
chemicals that.
VOCs.
Wire.
Well, right, you didn't use it for your flower gardens, but you used it for like in front of the garage areas,
Okay,
you know, that were
not for
rough.
your vegetable gardens or.
No, but just for those areas that you want to do.
Sorry, I can't
Petroleum
control my
products.
face. Control the face there. The other thing that the dump committee might consider is, I was talking to some people from Georgetown, Milburn, Rockland, they have wood banks where wood from the dump and from clearing roadsides and CMP and stuff, they dump the stuff off and they actually process firewood. So if somebody runs out of wood at the end of the
Well,
year,
Oh,
Yeah, I've thought about that, you know, many times at the Belgrade dump. And I mean, there's a ton of it sitting there right now.
yeah, it's
A
all
lot
pine
of
now.
pine, yeah, I know. So I mean, there was a huge collection of hardwood that came down.
Yeah.
But I've noticed that there are people who kind of like the flesh beetles, you know, they kind of go out with their trailers or whatever, and they just start scarfing this stuff up, which is
Yeah.
fine.
but a
you
lot
know.
of times that it does just get mixed in.
Yeah.
From the road clearing and stuff. I'll bring an article in.
Yeah.
About it.
Yeah.
That would
from
be
Maine
interesting.
Woodlands.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
something that might be no cost and might be worthwhile.
Well, it's something that you might be able to actually sell to people in need at a low cost to recover something.
Well, there are also a bunch of grants. There's a big article in Maine Woodlands.
Hey.
So
I'm
there-
gonna have some that's out here that I'll put put someplace.
We should get a chipper and chip it and offer, I mean,
They used to chip it out here and leave it. Or,
no, yeah, I used to get it down the road from that guy down the road. He used to give it to us free by the truckload. It's just not dark mulch. It's not
Right,
like mulch,
right,
but still it
right.
does the same thing.
Yeah,
Who cares?
yeah.
okay, that's all I have.
Okay.
Kyle, anything?
No, not
Still
tonight.
awake?
I'm still awake.
Roger.
I was just, on behalf of the Snowmobile Club, I was just asking that this year, for the warrant for the town meeting that we're placed back in with the same
Absolutely.
language as last year.
Yep.
That, we get 100% reimbursement from the state.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep, no problem.
Gotcha.
Change the subject. I was asked this the other day by somebody. What is the policy here in Mount Vernon for back taxes as far as length of time before the town does something? Is there a time period, 5 years, 6 years, that somebody doesn't pay? And
Yep, I was gonna say, you go for it,
It's-
Gary.
It's strictly by law.
It's-
She'll
it's-
explain it.
If your taxes are committed like August 25th, a year after that, say your 2021 taxes are committed August 25th, 2021. A year later, August 25th, 2022, a lien is placed on that property by the tax collector. 18 months after that, there are notices that have to be sent out, and technically it is the town's property at that point.
okay, because this person that I was talking with was referencing a piece of property here in town that, based on the annual report, taxes haven't been paid on, it was 5 years last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it says, when does the town do something about it? And talk about raising funds, there's a way to raise some funds also.
And we work with people. We try not to take people's land. What we do is we set up a payment plan. And as long as they're paying every month, we don't take their land. So,
I go knock on doors and I set up payment plans, and I don't want to take somebody's house or somebody's grandfather's house that they're just trying to figure out how to pay for, so.
Right.
But we are getting payments on them,
Hmm.
so they're not just, technically we can foreclose and then you have to put them out to bid, and you can't make money on them.
Yeah,
You can
no.
sell it, but anything over and above what the taxes are, you have to
Give it
refund
back to the owner.
Yeah,
Yep.
original owner.
yeah, that's a new state law.
yeah.
Yeah, but we're friendly that way. We just don't want to
Well,
take.
most towns are.
Nobody
Most
wants
towns
them
are.
taken.
And they are more than happy, I mean, most of them, nobody really needs a whole, stable of foreclosures, that they're
Mhm.
responsible for, so they're very willing to, every town that I've ever talked about it with, had the same thing, they would more willingly go to you and figure something out to keep it
I
out
will
of that
Say
system.
that I do work with people quite well until you don't keep your word, and then I become a real bitch.
Well, there you go,
So-
there you go, but I mean, it's a cut and dried system.
So for instance, the example that was presented to me was a parcel of property that's showed up for 5 years on the annual report. And every year it's the same amount that's due. So
I think
if
this one,
they're making payments on it, that amount should be different, I would assume.
it should be, ask me after the meeting and I'll look it up, because I think I know which one. So,
But I mean, there's interest that
Oh, yeah.
that accrues.
Yeah.
So, the visual representation may not show a huge difference, because of the interest that's involved.
It's usually not a big figure.
No.
These people are, usually not really rich. And
Well, stuff happens,
so, but what they owe is usually more in interest than what the principal
Absolutely,
was.
absolutely.
So
Yeah.
it's very difficult.
So Carrie, do you reflect those payments and or interest in each year's taxes owed in the annual report?
The annual report comes from the tax collector, as far as she keeps track of all those. But yes, those are reflected. So.
Okay.
The actual principal amount due at that point. We
Basically,
do have
Roger,
a property or two that
is this
is,
person interested in
we consciously not
going
because they're
after this
landlocked. We have
property?
no way of selling
I
it.
believe so.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
come in and gotta talk it out with the tax collector.
There's no easement
No
on the
easement.
right of way. Oh, I wonder how that happened.
Wow.
Get proven.
Yes.
Wow.
They're landlocked?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's not legal either, is it?
No, I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't
okay.
know.
No, it's not the town's responsibility unless the town actually ends up owning the property, you know, but still.
You would think someone around them would be willing to.
Mm.
Have a
Well-
fire truck to get back there.
Then there's another town that has,
There's a house on it?
no,
No.
no. There's another, not in this town, that is in foreclosure, but nobody can figure out where it is.
Oh.
So
Oh my
The tax
goodness.
maps, the tax
Oh.
maps have changed and there's some water that has taken over what used to be land, so we think
Oh,
that it's
dear.
underwater.
Oh,
Oh,
gee.
swampland.
Oh,
I have some swampland in Florida to show you.
Goodness. Well, I
Okay.
only had one question. Are you done?
That's it.
Okay. Actually, but the first one is, and Carl, you might be able to help me with this. Let me see, let me get my wording here. Okay, who holds the server, town, website? Is it public?
It's a public company, the company is called Revise.
Okay, and on this, does sensitive municipal and personal information be contained on it?
There should be no personal
No personal
information.
information
Don't
on
think
there.
so.
Okay, and what about municipal information?
There's municipal, but it's all
Should-
public information on the
Yeah.
website.
Okay, so, good,
We don't store data on.
okay,
Like tax maps and
Yeah,
minutes of
yeah, yeah,
meetings
yeah.
and stuff like that.
right,
Public.
easily accessed public information, okay. And then I wondered if the town had any inkling about the new mandate for ordinances of single, I don't know how to put this, people who live alone, people of all ages who live alone, becoming part of a program from a company called Nesterly Company, which is a Massachusetts-based company.
Yeah,
And
I just heard about that.
yeah, and I wondered if there was any scuttlebutt about, you know, rural communities in particular being targeted for this, because they're looking to try to, and this is where I mentally slipped sideways on this whole project, is that they want to take asylum seekers and homeless and indigents and put them into homes with the elderly that are living alone. And my brain blew up. I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm seeing elder abuse, I'm seeing social security fraud, I'm seeing all manner of things happening with this. And I just wondered if there was anything that the towns have received in about this, because they're saying that by the end of 2024, they want to have this implemented in the state.
I would fight
Oh.
tooth and nail about that because town's business to help you find a roommate or be
Yeah.
responsible for finding a roommate.
But the land use ordinance review was designed to increase the capability of a person being able to develop a minimum lot size, was it not? So now they're stepping,
Auxiliary clause.
right, so they're stepping kind of away from that now, and they're trying to use people's homes as sanctuaries, sort of. It's interesting, I'm gonna be following it, because I think that
Yeah.
it's
It was.
very
on the news.
complicated and
That's
Yeah.
right.
messy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see how the town will get into that.
Yeah.
Well, if it's a mandate.
It's gotta
okay?
be something between you know,
Yeah, my brain blew up, Bob. It's okay.
yeah, it's just,
But this is something that is developing, so I know that if she's heard about it, she'll keep her ear to the ground.
I did,
I'm
I
gonna-
heard about
yeah.
it too, but
Yeah.
it's
And
gotta be something between the family members.
Well,
Mhm.
see, that's not what they're
Well,
talking
no,
about.
there's so many, you can only have so many people in a specific dwelling. I mean, you can only have so many people in a 2-bedroom apartment. With a
Right,
senior, so the senior has a bedroom, and then if a woman with her small child comes in, well, that's not right. You can't have
Right.
you can't have that child living in a house that only has 2 bedrooms kind of thing.
How
So
are you gonna know about it?
yeah,
well,
see, this is the
that's
thing.
the thing that
The
they're talking about.
details were simply sort of not discussed. It was the idea that came
It's
out.
just an idea.
Yeah,
It's
It's just
all,
a
but
theory,
she's
it's all in
wrapping her
trying
head
to
around it.
address
knows
the
it.
housing shortage.
which is
and-
what they're doing in Portland. People are opening up their homes
Yeah.
to families to come in,
Yeah.
this kind of thing.
So
It's
it
less,
was,
less likely to happen in a rural area because,
Or
Of
service-
amenities.
There's no
Right.
services.
facilities and amenities.
right,
Well, that's been the issue all along. So I'm just gonna keep my ear to the ground about this sort of thing.
oh, I like those boots. Yeah. Yeah,
Ready for ice.
I like it,
Nice. I could have used those this morning.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Oh, I used them today.
yeah, then you know.
Oh, yeah. No,
Walking
I was
outside.
building. Anyway,
Slipping.
that's all. That's all I had.
Yeah, that,
You know, it's something to keep your ear to the ground.
Yeah.
You know, they're thinking up all kinds of weird stuff.
yeah, I would say the family should be very careful.
Well,
About
they
doing something
say
like
that
that.
they're going to vet the people, and I'm saying, you know, that's all good, and it's great rhetoric, but how, you can't vet a homeless person, because they basically don't exist.
Right,
I mean, you know, some of them don't even remember their birth date, and how are you gonna track them down?
but are they looking at homeless people
Yes.
going in? Really?
Yes, yep,
I'm
And
ju-
they're-
I'm just, I just wanna set this, I'm not gonna say names or where this is from, but I know of a foreign exchange student that came to live with a wonderful family. And that exchange student was vetted, was gone through all those
Yeah, yeah,
rigors,
yeah.
and come to find out he abused animals.
okay,
And he is still in the United States because they don't want to go back home to his other country. So now he's in another home.
okay, so that's why my brain blew up when the whole concept
Yeah.
happened,
Yes,
because,
I can't,
Kick
yeah.
the
I mean-
can down the road.
and they're talking about putting young people with older people and single people, single older people,
Okay.
not older couples.
You know where it would work, like Farmington, you get, a college kid
Right,
that comes into town,
right.
instead of being in the dorm,
But you have one
You know,
little,
right.
one little word that is attached to that, citizen,
yeah,
you know?
right,
And they're looking to place asylum seekers who are likely not to be citizens.
right.
And
And
again,
homeless
there's no
people
background on them.
that they might be citizens or not, but you can't tell, you don't know. So all the details that came flooding into my mind that weren't apparently being, you know, released. This was all nice, and the thought process in the introduction of this programming is great. Like, Kathy was saying, she would like to, and we're saying you would like to get the aging in place members as volunteers to engage with the younger people. Well, that's an appropriate connection. But Westerly actually has part of their company is the word romance was introduced in the article, and I'm going, wait a minute, what are we talking about here? We're putting young people in with old people, and the word romance is coming in? It's like, hello there. So anyway, we'll keep our ear to the ground, but this was actually in print on
No,
the news.
I'm not gonna put that in there.
But yeah, I know. Bless our hearts for thinking it couldn't happen, but you know,
In a perfect world, that's a wonderful
that's
idea.
exactly
We
right.
don't live in a perfect world.
No, we don't, no.
Well, Kyle, I move that we adjourn at 7:48.
You've been
Second
very
motion.
stalwart over there.
Vote to zip.
Thank
Well,
you.
Good deal.
Feel better, Carl.
Feel
Thank
better.
you, appreciate it.
But sign these so my checks are legal, please.
Tomorrow morning is sufficient?
That is sufficient.
Okay,
Leaving right here at your
Hope you're
place.
feeling better.
thank
Bye.
you.
Get a good night's rest.
I'm gonna try.
All right.
See ya.
Bye.
And then before I file the most.